Bonjour et bienvenue dans la chaîne. Hello and welcome to the channel called Journey to Fluency. Today's video I'll share some of the French words that I've learned from native French speakers. Now these were some words that I picked up when I was living in France and also now that I'm working with a French team. So there is some words which are formal and some which are also informal and which comes from my experience. So let's get started. First one is Samash. Now, this is not something that I learned from there. Of course, we all know what Samash means, which basically means it works or good to go. But French use this word a lot, like a lot. And in every d'accord or okay, instead of d'accord or okay, it's ça marche. Là, on se retrouve à 7 heures, ça marche. Est-ce que je peux écrire ça dans le passeport? Ça marche. The response to everything and anything starts with ça marche, and they use this a lot, like let's go, ça marche, like in a good spirit, but it's used instead of okay. Next one is, if you have interacted with any French person, you know this word which is called du coup. So du coup to anything, the literal translation of du coup is because or the consequences, but I don't think they use it for that. They use it in the start of the sentence or in general in any sentence. Du coup, j'ai mis le devis ici. Du coup, tu peux commencer à travailler à 7 heures. Du coup, c'est pas possible. Donc, du coup, c'est le mot que j'ai entendu tout le temps, and that they use a lot of du coup. And no, it's not just in informal but also office setup. I've seen the native use this word. Next one is faire le point. Now this is the phrase that I always got confused whenever my colleague used to say on va faire le point après le déjeuner, on peut faire le point après quelque temps, et je fais le point avec la directrice, and I was always confused, like what does it mean faire le point. But now that I know, faire le point is basically like you can, after your you actually sit down properly and do a discussion and come to a conclusion. And no, it's not really like a meeting. Like it is a meeting but not the official one. It is more like whenever you are with a colleague or you're working with them, you sit together and you fare a point of understanding like where you are, where she is, and how we can come to a conclusion. And I feel that's really a very good habit to do, to come out of a conclusion or to understand what's going on in a day. Like for example, if you have worked whole day and you want to have something, like you want to discuss it, so you just don't go in between. You take like a time, then you decide the time with your colleague and you say on peut faire le point après le café or après le post café. Next one is pas de souci. Pas de souci means no worries, and this is something that I heard a lot. And it's more polite when you say pas de souci instead of pas de problème, which I've learned in India. So pas de problème is also fine, like pas de problème, t'inquiète. Mais pas de souci feels like more like don't worry, no worries. So pas de souci. Next one is bien joué. Now, bien joué doesn't really means that you played well, but it can, yeah, you can use that. But I've learned this expression in class when you are like answering to something and you have answered in a tricky situation or picked up an option which will work in your favor, then it's been said like bien joué, like well played. But even in like in a classroom environment, or basically if you're having games with your friends and you say something in favor of someone, then you say like bien joué. Next word or the context that can be used every day, which is profiter. House owner use the word profiter. So get out of the house, enjoy the weather, profiter le temps, profiter la saison, just profiter de la vie. So profiter is something you can use like any day, even profiter la café or profiter cette vidéo, si tu veux. Donc, profiter is the word that I learned, and it just completely gives you like different meaning altogether to your life, to the way you live. It just basically means that you profit or make the most of every moment that you're doing it. So just if there's a good weather, just go out, have the most of your time. So profiter. Next one is super parfait. Now, super and parfait is something that they use a lot in terms of like encouraging someone, or just saying, wow, that's great, how we say it in English. So, for example, oh, je parle français, t'inquiète. Donc, they'll reply as super parfait. Next one is not really a phrase, but tone, or maybe a little words. I don't know how to explain what it is, but I'll just show it to you. So basically, when there is, for example, you have a list of things to do in a day, and after the end of the day, when you have to tick mark, they'll do tak tak tak, tak tak tak, and they do this a lot. So this is something I've learned. So when you're tick marking, you also do, you say a word like tak. And once I was in a grocery store, and there was this person who was loading all the vegetables and just counting that. You won't believe, but till 10 minutes or till 15 minutes I was there in the store doing my chores, the person on every rack was like tak 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 tak, tak tak tak, tak tak tak, and it just goes on. They don't stop it. So, and it's loud, it's not in your mind, okay, done this on this, what we do it usually, but it's loud, like tak tak tak. And it was just interesting and something that I learned. And I think it's really great when you like say it out loud when you complete something, so that you actually feel, oh, you have done it and you're not missing out on something. This one is a little formal one, where they say merci pour ta patience. So just not merci or merci beaucoup, but merci pour ta patience. So when there's like a whole lot of paragraph and there's a lot of exchange of informations or emails that happens, then the person also write like merci pour ta patience, like thank you for your patience, thank you for holding on so long, adding the meaning to that thank you. And that's something I really like, and we use this in formal conversation that I've learned through emails. Next that I really like is they also use merci ma belle. So French is a very romantic language, and that is for the reason that whenever they say thank you or hello, they always add ma belle, like my beautiful or my lovely, chouette. So like this, of course in a in a informal friendly conversation, but once you are like in good terms with your work colleagues, you can also use that. This one I really, it screams that it is French, which is bon fin de la journée. So bon journée is something that we all know, that is have a good day, but bon fin de la journée basically means have a good end of your day. And this is said like after 6 p.m. ish or 5 p.m. ish. So, and it's really strict, so I thought that it's just in the written form or something like that, that if you write an email after 5 or something, they write bon fin de la journée instead of bon journée. Really very specific about it, and something that's very interesting, that after 6 you say bon fin de la journée. This one, or the second last one, journée tranquille. So have like, and it basically means like had a peaceful day or a silent day. This context, I heard this so much. And so for example, it was always like qu'est-ce que tu as fait à la weekend, what did you do at the weekend, qu'est-ce que tu as fait dans le jour férié or au dimanche. And your reply will always, if you didn't do anything or if you were just at home, so instead of just saying oh rien spécial or rien, you'll say journée tranquille. So like a silent day. I was just enjoying myself at my home. Something like a really good way of putting forward, like okay, I had a weekend which was tranquille, which was peaceful. So a journée tranquille. A journée tranquille. I had a silent and a peaceful day. And the last one is atut aplus. So they mostly say atut, that is atutalar. It's like the short form of atutalar. So atut and aplus is also like see you later. Not like abiato. In during the day you mostly say atut or aplus. So see you later. It just means see you later. Bisou, ciao. And yeah, so you actually do that. So every time I speak to my friend and when I cut the call, I say okay, merci, ciao, bisous, and and then you cut the call. So there is always this like air kisses that we give even on a phone call. And of course in person you do the, or even while writing, like bizu madhurika. And that's how, if you want to end your email to a friend or friendly work colleague. So yes, that was it about some French phrases or words that I've learned while living there, and also right now, as my work is with the French natives. Let me know which one do you like more, or which one would you like to use it in your everyday conversations. If you have any more, do leave them in the comments down below. And want to experience all of this, we do take French linguistic trip to France with Away We Go. So all the details are in the description box below. You can also follow a new Instagram handle of the company, which is Away We Go Abroad. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Merci, bisous.